the first clown car that we're going to be dealing with at the Circle is this investigation into what the heck is going on around the security detail with Donald Trump. Frank Roberson's back on. And, Frank, I don't know. Have you been listening to the Dan Bongino shows? Do I have to go recap some of that real quick, or do you know what I'm talking about? Have you been paying attention to him?
I haven't been on Mr. Bongino's show or listened to it lately, no.
Okay. So let me tell you what, because this is the guy who, more so than anyone else in the media, you should listen to on this. He was literally in Secret Service details for 10 years. He says from his sources that there is a civil war in the Secret Service right now. There's the normal grunts, the guys on the ground who are just doing the job, doing the right thing, not being partisan, not being political. And then there's the people in a position of power who have a different incentive. They have incentive to cover things up. They have incentive to downplay some information or to stonewall or classify stuff that makes them look bad. And is that what you see, Frank?
That's kind of what, along the lines of what I've been hearing. Thanks for having me on, by the way. But again, that's along the lines of what I've been hearing as well. Some frontline agents are getting frustrated, and the investigation just really isn't showing that it's going to get any better. I mean, look at the press conference the other day with the acting director.
Yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of my questions answered. Like how if that guy he got pinged at 2 a.m. How did he stay there the entire time? Do we know if he did or didn't stay there the entire time? And if he did, that means he was there for about 12 hours without someone just doing a lap around the place and seeing a weirdo with a gun. Like, that doesn't even seem believable, Frank.
Well, he said in press conference that he didn't think that the perimeter was swept, and it was going to be up to that if it hadn't been for that new agent. Which, by the way, the newer agents are the ones that aren't going to be complacent. They haven't been on the job for long periods of time because he's blaming it on complacency. But I just don't get it. They've known that there's soft spots at that golf course. They've protected that golf course before, and agents that I'm hearing from or have known said the same thing, that just because they've had Secret Service there before in those weak spots, they should have had them again. They should have them every single time. And when the guy says, the acting director says that they've had a full detail on President Trump since July 13th, if they had a full team on him, that would have been covered. If they've covered it before, they would have covered it again. So I'm not buying some of the things that he's passing around.
Well, I hear a lot of people who are outside the business talk about the need for drones and using drones to surveil the area. Dan Bongino doesn't really stick to that too much, saying if we just did the things we're supposed to do on the ground, that should cover it just fine. I mean, are drones a big part of this?
I think drones are good, but they have to be drones that have the infrared. They have to be able to detect somebody in the bushes. Otherwise, you're still stuck to walking along the fence line with a dog, or posting up some officers after the fence line has been cleared, which again is probably the simplest of the two options that could have been done, even if you are down some men.
Frank, let's talk about the ugly question. This could happen again. Dan Bongino says that there hasn't been any significant changes. He doesn't see why it can't happen again. What do you think?
I think the last two incidents, they were perpetrated by complete amateurs, and I think it just shows that big bubble that we've always thought about that was around the Secret Service and presidents isn't really there. And I think it tells our foreign adversaries, terrorist groups, whoever Iran is targeting President Trump, it just gives them a blueprint on what to look for and what they can do. I mean, the guy comes out, he's been there for, a month? It turns out over the weekend that he's been there off and on for a month waiting. He had a list of locations that President Trump would be visiting. This guy should have been picked up on some radar if someone was paying attention over the last month.
No kidding. All right. Tell them about what you do at Black Rhino Group real quick, Frank.
Well, real simple. We protect people. So if there's a threat or you just like to have somebody with you, your high-value CEO, high-net-worth family, elected official, whatever, we can be there for you. Make sure your routes are clear. Make sure you get to where you need to go, point A, point B safely.
Frank Roberson, Black Rhino GRP. Is it com? Y'all are a com,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There he is.